You gonna wear that when you buff?
Yeah, I can.
Is that plastic?
Yeah, it's plastic. No, it's real chain. Huh? So heavy. So it's like to be me.
So Nikki is taking a break on the Barracuda to get this thing finished up. So solid black is always fun.
Oh. Biggest tip with black paint is to use brand new buffing pads, brand new polishing pads, brand new microfibers, everything brand new. Like that's it's a good tip for any car, for any color, but especially for black. You do not want to be polishing or buffing on anything black with anything. You might even want to get 2 new pads just in case.
Yeah.
Just to have for
if
safety.
you get some stuck in one, you can just.
I mean,
not
I've
have to
had
think
one
about
pad
it.
buffing a black car, and I dropped it, and I was like, I'm not gonna use that on black. It's just, you'll bite yourself in the butt.
Yep, that is a good tip. So new things, and she's basically hitting this entire hood by hand with 1500. Just cross hatching. So this is really the first step after you clean it. So do you focus on the nibs right now?
No, so what I do, so I'll get like a base, it's hard to explain, but I like to get a good flatness going, like a good, where I'm happy with how flat it is.
Oh, and then if you still see anything.
And then if I still see something like this, I'll go back over that area just a little bit more.
That makes sense.
But I don't like to focus on things too much, like the imperfections too much until I have to.
I've made little divots before doing that.
Exactly, because you'll just put too deep a scratch in when you're focusing on something small. You'll start rubbing it in a little, and you're gonna put deep scratches in no matter what. And with black, you really don't want to do that. Just go smooth through the whole thing, and then go back through and find your imperfections. I don't even think they can hear me with that air compressor on right now.
Huh? Yeah, I have it. You can.
But yeah, so black is really difficult, but we're gonna get it really nice for them.
Yep. So this is the first step. And this will probably take her 2, maybe 3 hours to get the hood done with the first stage. So she's already got this one completely finished. So this has not been touched with a buffer other than right there. And that was just one pass. And then she did start buffing on this side. So this is one round of buff.
This claim shack is haunted in the very best way. Thoughts about the big fallout. I feel something once. It's not a pinch or a punch. Save me. Too thick and thin. Never fair weather friends. You can blame me. You can blame me. Thick and thin. I still swim to save you, my friend. I still swim to save you, my friend. Too thick and thin. Never fair weather friends.
We need to get you something cool.
I know. When are you gonna do that? My birthday's
Uh,
coming up in February.
Maybe that'll give me enough time to save some money.
No, it's never enough time, trust me.
No, that's true.
That looks like you should be in there.
I need my chain on.
Yeah, it's in the back. You got it.
Hey, guys.
Have a
See
good
ya.
one. Our gravel. This one steers too.
Okay, crane it up.
All right, we are all bagged up on this 69 Chevelle that just got dropped off so that we don't get dust and shit all on the inside while we're working on this thing. So still got to paper the tires and clean it up, but this is how it came to us. So just a bunch of sloppy stuff that we need to clean up and strip it down and find what is to be hidden under some of this. Shouldn't be much. Should not be much. Just got some whiskey dents and some stud weld pulls from dents that I don't really like fixing dents that way. So we'll see what we can do. Dollying it and doing some paintless dent removal. Yep, we will. And this appears to be like a panel bond, like an epoxy glue. So we're gonna wanna strip that out and get it down to metal because this will actually expand and swell in the sun. So it's good because it's anti-corrosive, but it's not gonna look good because it's gonna look like a bunch of bubbles. So that's not the way to do that. So we'll get that out of there, see what's underneath, and see if it needs welded in solid. These aren't as big of a deal, but we're still gonna wanna strip that because again, it's panel bond, so it has a chance of swelling. But this is more kind of what it's used for. Not really though. The seam sealer should be used here. So panel bond, the problem is it swells and expands depending on the temperature. So that's why it's used for underneath panels, because obviously you don't have any swelling that's gonna go on, it's gonna pop to the outside. So we got our CRE 921 primer done on all this stuff yesterday. So this is the parts for this 69 Chevelle. So all this stuff came in like a black primer, but we stripped it to metal and found a ton of body filler right here and a couple other spots. So we do not like to do our dents in metalwork, so I'll show you why. So this car has had that done before it got here, so you can kind of see the stud weld, the pin stud marks. So this is from a stud welder in those little diodes. So when it welds to that, then you pull it out with a slide hammer or any other various tool, but they never turn out good. They always end up being little mounds and just never perfect. These are really not good, but it kind of depends on what the dent was like. If it was crinkled, then this is about what you can expect to get from a stud welder. So it's not too bad, but not too great either. The problem with these things is it also loses the metal memory. So if you work the dent out with a dolly or like a pick, like a PDR tool, then a lot of times you can get the metal to find where it knows it's supposed to be, and it'll kind of go back to perfect. So that's why I like to get them in primer. So we use either this or the gray CRE 321. It's the exact same high build corrosive resistant epoxy primer, but this is black, so you can kind of see a little bit more. So what the next step is now, before I touch this with any sandpaper, is we're gonna have all the dent work done while you can see it real well. So like this thing, and again, this was a stud weld area that they must have pulled through the metal and welded those up. And then see, we got another little dent there, some stuff down here. So this we might not be able to get to, depending on where the skin is on the outside. Yeah, no, we're not gonna be able to access this because it's got this underneath. So this will end up just being filler, but it's not horrible. It's about ready for the dent work. Get the doors nice and straight before we start our blocking and body work and fitment and the rest of the process. Epoxy is all done and dry. So today we have scheduled, if he can make time, for our dent guy to come out and get all these dents popped out. So this has already been severely overworked, so it's not going to be able to be perfect. And it was a vinyl top car that the holes were welded, and not the best job. Overall, the roof's pretty decent. There's a spot over there I'll show you. Overall, not too hateful. So even these dents, they're all very shallow. So I really could block over and then just fill them. And I've already light tested everything too. So there actually is no light through any of this little bit of pitting right there. That was just from the stud welder, screwed up the metal a little bit. But yeah, I'm ready to unmask this and we can start on our dent work. And then after that is done, we can start blocking and body work.
Nice fucking the sky so hollow. Embrace the burn, you bleed just like you bleed while running a mile.